If you want to talk about someone who was attacked by a weaponized bureau, you're looking at him. And now he's the director of the FBI and he's cleaning it up.
3 minutes ago, Patty Murray walked into a Senate Intelligence Committee hearing and changed the temperature of the room. Not metaphorically, physically, you could see it on people's faces. Staffers stopped whispering. Reporters straightened in their seats. Even the cameras felt closer. She didn't grandstand. She didn't preview what she was about to do. She didn't warm up the audience with dramatic language. She sat down. She placed a thick red folder on the desk, stamped confidential, and she looked directly at FBI Director Kash Patel. That's when the room went cold. Let me slow this down so you understand the weight of it. Senate Hart Building. Room 216. Wood-paneled walls that have seen decades of political theater, 3 C-SPAN cameras, 2 boom mics overhead, a full press gallery, not casually full but unusually full. The kind of full that only happens when reporters hear whispers that something real might happen. Patel was already seated when she entered, dark suit. Red tie, posture straight, chin slightly lifted. If you've watched him before, you know the expression, controlled, almost clinical. The face of someone who's testified enough times to know the rhythm. Stall, deflect, generalize, outlast. 3 attorneys flanked him. 2 aides sat directly behind. A stack of neatly organized briefing papers rested at his right hand. Standard formation. The first 40 minutes were procedural, budget allocations, counterterrorism strategy, personnel restructuring, mundane oversight questions that allow a witness to speak in safe, rehearsed paragraphs. Patel handled it smoothly. He always does. He speaks in complete, polished sentences. He references protocols. He leans on phrases like ongoing considerations and standard review processes. He checked his watch once, adjusted his microphone twice, smiled once, then it was Murray's turn. Director Patel, she began. Her tone wasn't aggressive, it wasn't emotional, it was steady, the kind of steady that signals preparation. I want to discuss classification protocols. Patel nodded, of course, Senator. What? Specifically, she continued, I'd like clarification on why certain documents previously cleared for congressional review were reclassified after you assumed office. There it was, subtle, direct, no theatrics. If you were watching closely, and I was, you saw Patel's left hand flatten against the table. Not hard, just enough to anchor himself. Senator, classification reviews are routine and mandated. I'm not asking about routine procedures, Murray interrupted without raising her voice. I'm asking about specific directives issued from your office. And then she opened the red folder, not dramatically, not fast, carefully. The sound of paper sliding across wood echoed louder than it should have. On March 22 of this year, she read, your office issued a directive to the FBI's Classification Review Board ordering an expedited reassessment of materials related to sensitive ongoing matters involving current and former government officials. She looked up, you signed that directive. Patel paused just a fraction too long. Without reviewing the document you're referencing. You don't need to review it, your signature is on it. Silence, not polite silence. The kind that presses on your chest. One of Patel's attorneys leaned in, whispered. Patel gave a slight shake of his head, not yet. Murray removed another document. This is the internal memo outlining the reclassification review timeline. 37 documents were reclassified between March and July. 37. She let that number sit. All previously cleared, all connected to individuals in positions of influence. Patel responded in measured tones. Classification decisions are based on national security assessments, ongoing investigative sensitivity, and interagency coordination. And protecting powerful people from scrutiny, Murray asked, no sarcasm. Just a question, Patel's jaw tightened. I reject that implication. Then explain the pattern, she said. She pulled out a sworn statement from a whistleblower inside the Classification Review Board. In my 15 years with the FBI, she read, I have never witnessed such systematic efforts to reclassify documents previously cleared for release. The directive originated from the director's office. We were instructed to prioritize materials referencing specific names. The gallery erupted in low murmurs. Reporters stopped typing and started recording. The materials, Murray continued, included visitor logs, correspondence, and witness statements. None contained classified operational intelligence. She lowered the page. Does that refresh your memory, Director? Patel's expression shifted, not dramatically but enough. Surprise first, then calculation, then that familiar blank mask. I cannot comment on allegations from an unnamed individual. Then let's remove ambiguity. She flipped to a tab. Document Alpha 72, visitor logs from a private residence in Palm Beach, cleared in 2019. Reclassified in April 2025. Another tab, Document Beta 39, sworn testimony from an employee at that same residence. cleared, reclassified. Another document Charlie 51. Flight manifest spanning 2002 to 2015. Cleared, reclassified. Even members of the committee were leaning forward now. Director Patel, Murray said, voice quieter now but more forceful, what national security interest is served by hiding 15-year-old visitor logs? Patel inhaled slowly, without reviewing each document in context. You ordered them reclassified. And then she said it. Did you personally direct the reclassification of documents related to Jeffrey Epstein's associates? The name hit the room like a detonation. You could feel it. Even the cameras seemed to tighten their focus. Patel's complexion visibly drained under the lights. The FBI does not base classification decisions on individuals' names, he replied. That was not my question. Her voice was sharper now. Did you personally order the reclassification of documents related to Jeffrey Epstein's associates? Yes or no? 20 seconds passed, no paper shuffled, no coughing. No movement. In Washington, silence is usually strategic. This wasn't strategic. This was absence. The handling of sensitive materials involves complex factors that cannot be reduced to a binary answer, Patel finally said. Cannot, she repeated, or will not. No answer. Then she pulled out one final sheet. This is a list of 17 names. Each appears in documents reclassified under your directive, each connected in some capacity to Jeffrey Epstein. She did not read them. I will submit this under seal to the committee record, she said. And I expect a detailed explanation under oath as to why these individuals warranted retroactive classification. Patel looked at his legal team. No notes passed, no whispered rescue. For the first time in the hearing, he was alone. Release the documents, Murray said. You have the authority. You've exercised it before. Exercise it now. His hands were visibly trembling. National security, she pressed. These are visitor logs, flight records, archived testimony. Epstein is dead. Maxwell is incarcerated. What ongoing investigation justifies secrecy? Her voice rose for the first time. So who are you protecting? The hearing continued after that. Technically, questions about cybersecurity, staffing shortages, budget allocations, but no one was listening because something had shifted. Within minutes, clips spread across social media. Legal analysts began debating obstruction. Newsrooms scrambled to verify the document references. Commentators argued over executive authority versus congressional oversight. But strip away the noise and here's what matters: 37 documents, reclassified in a 4-month window, all tied to one investigation. 17 names submitted under seal on the congressional record. Maybe nothing happens. Maybe this gets absorbed into the news cycle and forgotten. Or maybe this was the fracture point. Maybe this was the moment where classification protocol stopped sounding. 3 minutes ago, Patty Murray did something nobody expected. She didn't ease into it. She didn't build up slowly. She walked into the Senate Intelligence Committee hearing, sat down, opened a red folder marked confidential, and looked directly at Kash Patel. The room went cold. You know that shift in energy when everyone senses something big is about to drop? That's what it felt like. If you're new here, subscribe and hit the bell because what happened in the next 12 minutes is going to be replayed everywhere tonight. Let me set the scene. Senate Hart Building, room 216. Wood-paneled walls. C-SPAN cameras locked in from 3 angles. The gallery packed with reporters who somehow knew this wasn't going to be routine oversight. Kash Patel sat at the witness table in a dark suit and red tie, wearing that calm, controlled expression, the practiced look of someone who's survived hundreds of hearings and knows how to navigate them. 3 lawyers flanked him. 2 aides sat behind him, standard formation. Patty Murray entered late, not fashionably late, strategically late. She carried only one folder, thick and red. The way she placed it on the desk was deliberate, careful, intentional. You knew it contained something Patel didn't want revealed. The first 40 minutes were routine: FBI field office budgets, personnel transfers, counterterrorism briefings. Patel handled it smoothly. He always does. He knows how to run out the clock without looking like he's running out the clock. He checked his watch once, adjusted his microphone twice, looked almost bored. Then it was Murray's turn. Director Patel, she began. Her voice was calm. Too calm, the kind of calm that comes before a storm. I want to talk about classification protocols. Patel nodded slightly. Of course, Senator. Specifically, she continued, I want to understand why certain documents that were previously cleared for congressional review have been reclassified since you became FBI director. His expression didn't change, but if you were watching closely, you saw his left hand flatten slightly against the table. Senator, classification reviews are routine procedures mandated by. I'm not asking about routine procedures, Murray cut in, her voice sharpening just a fraction. I'm asking about specific documents. She opened the red folder. The energy in the room doubled. On March 22 of this year, she read, your office issued a directive to the FBI's Classification Review Board ordering an expedited review of all documents related to what you described as sensitive ongoing matters involving current and former government officials. Patel sat perfectly still. Senator, without seeing the specific document you're referencing. You don't need to see it, Director, you signed it. Silence, not polite silence, heavy silence. Murray pulled out another document. This is the memo, your signature is at the bottom. Would you like me to hold it up for the cameras? One of Patel's lawyers leaned in and whispered. Patel shook his head slightly. Classification decisions, he replied carefully, are based on established criteria involving national security considerations and ongoing investigative interests, and protecting powerful people from accountability. Murray asked, the words hung in the air. I reject that characterization entirely, Patel said. Then help me understand, Murray continued. According to this internal FBI memo obtained through a whistleblower complaint, 37 documents were reclassified between March and July of this year. 37, all previously cleared for release, all containing information about individuals in positions of power. She looked up at him. That is not national security, Director, that is a pattern. Patel tried to regain control. Senator, you are drawing conclusions from incomplete information. I am drawing conclusions from a whistleblower inside your Classification Review Board, she replied. Someone disturbed enough by what they witnessed to come to this committee with evidence. She pulled out a sworn statement from an FBI analyst. In my 15 years with the FBI, she read, I have never witnessed such systematic efforts to reclassify documents already cleared for release. The directive came directly from the director's office. We were told to prioritize documents mentioning specific names. The materials reviewed were visitor logs, witness statements, and correspondence, not matters of national security. Murray looked at Patel. Does this sound familiar, Director? Patel's face shifted, surprise, calculation, then a blank political mask. I cannot comment on allegations from an unnamed individual. Then let me be specific. She flipped to another tab. Document Alpha 72, visitor logs from a private residence in Palm Beach, Florida, cleared in 2019, reclassified in April 2025. Document Beta 39, witness testimony from an employee at that same residence, cleared, reclassified. Document Charlie 51, flight manifest from 2002 to 2015, cleared, reclassified. Director, 12 documents in total, all related to the same investigation, all reclassified within months of you taking office. She leaned forward. What national security interest is served by hiding 15-year-old visitor logs? Patel hesitated, without reviewing the specific documents. You ordered them reclassified. Then she dropped it. Did you personally order the reclassification of documents related to Jeffrey Epstein's associates? The name landed like a bomb. Patel went pale under the lights. The FBI does not make classification decisions based on names, he said. That is not what I asked. Did you personally order the reclassification of documents related to Epstein's associates? Yes or no? 20 seconds of silence. In a congressional hearing, 20 seconds feels like an eternity. The handling of sensitive materials involves complex considerations that cannot be reduced to yes or no, Patel finally said. Cannot or will not? Murray asked. Silence again. She pulled out one final sheet. This is a list of 17 names. All appear in documents reclassified under your directive, all connected to Jeffrey Epstein in some capacity. She didn't read them aloud. I will submit this list to the committee record under seal, she said. And I expect a full explanation under oath for why these specific names required reclassification. Patel looked at his lawyers. They had nothing. Release the documents, Murray said. You have the authority, you've exercised it before, so do it now. His hands were visibly shaking. I am not implying anything, she continued. I am stating facts. 37 documents, reclassified under your watch, all tied to one investigation involving powerful individuals. And you cannot provide a single legitimate reason for keeping them classified. Her voice rose. So what are you hiding? Who are you protecting?